Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm going to talk quickly about how are you going to market the goal. I'm going to mention just briefly a couple of tips. As a business owner, you have to keep certain steps in mind. It's not a matter of ideas or instincts. You have to set up and have a clear plan. How are you going to approach those entities as well? First of all, if you are a small business, if you have a business or any product in mind, you have to conduct research. That's the first step that you have to take. Regardless, if you are going to pay a consultant company or private company, or if you have different resources such as Census Bureau or public resources, that's fine. But you have to have any research that says that perhaps your business is viable or is feasible, and then you can take the next step. You need to identify the niche market that you have in mind. After that, you need to organize what kind of goals do you want to set up. For instance, if you are a small business, you want to increase awareness, brand awareness, or increase market share by 10% maybe. If you're an existing business, you want to increase customer retention or market penetration, maybe different strategies. Those marketing objectives can be tied to the financial goals, because at the end of the day, you want to see annual sales increase. You want to see, for instance, profit margins from 10 to 15, 20%, and you have to be very specific the way that you are going to describe those financial goals. In addition to that, you have to be careful about the mix that you have. 4 P's: price, promotion, products, and place. The price, how can you arrive to that specific price? Based on sectors, competition, industries, categories, products, competitors, or your own break-even point, maybe. Promotions. What kind of promotions are you trying to sell or provide to your customers? You have to strategize to build the right approach. We can talk about 3M strategy, which is media, measurement, and message. Media might be television, radio, online, or mobile, as we heard earlier in the other presentations, through clouds and social media. Also, the message that you are trying to convey. What is the real message, starting from the slogan, logo, and the real communication channel that you are trying to reach? Measurement means, for instance, if you have a website, if you are tracking the hits every day, or how are you going to track the data that you have? It's important to say that, for instance, today we have 24 million of the small businesses, and just 18 million they track data in terms of financial or marketing. 6 million of small businesses, they don't use anything. That's very amazing. The place is where and when are you going to be located based on your strategies, products, strategic alliances that you might have. After that, we have the market, the target market, and can be divided in 2 categories. Business to consumer is when you are small, you are going to target your niche market. How are you going to target your niche market? You have to understand, first of all, demographics. Ages, gender, income, education, lifestyle trends, geography, regions, states, population, behaviors, also psychographics such as patterns or frequency of use. You have to keep those aspects in mind when you are just starting your small business. That's basically my first advice to small business. Every single day we see small businesses who want to thrive every day. And the first question I ask is, do you know your market? Do you know your customers very well? Because if you don't know them very well, it's very hard to see who buys what you sell. The second category that I want to mention today is business to business. It's when we think about, for instance, 8A certification, CBE, Hobson, that kind of government opportunities that we see. If you are not ready, my question to a small business today is how well prepared you are to take it to the next level. Because all those certifications, such as 8A, CBE, Hobson, requires a specific specific information and specific conditions that you have to have, such as capacity, personal, cash flow, facilities, that kind of stuff. After that, if you identify that you are a mature business, perhaps you can perform and you can achieve those certifications as well. But it's important, if you are going to keep local and social, perhaps you can think about market segmentation, because each segment must be identifiable, accessible, substantial, unique, and durable. But the most important part, when you are a small business, you can save money just basically utilizing, for example, we can mention guerrilla marketing businesses. You have an unconventional way of performing marketing activities on a low budget. Most of the time, the issue here is I don't have any money, but I wanted to launch this business and I wanted to target these specific segments. And once again, once you have the niche market, you have to find it and fill it. Don't just sell, you have to entertain as well if you are trying to market. Strive to be unique. If you don't bring what will be the differentiator from the private sector, perhaps you can transition from the private sector to the public sector and have that mix in your portfolio, because it's very hard. As Anna said, it's 9 years for ADA certification, but after that, those 9 years, you have to have a private strategy as well. You have to create definitely an identity for your business. If you don't create your identity, it's very hard to be sustainable in the private sector. After you finish your program in the public sector, maybe you are going to come back to your primary source, which is your niche market. If you created the loyalty with your niche market, you can be sustainable for a long period of time. And the last thing that I want to mention is you need to connect with customers on an emotional level sometimes, because that way you can create loyalty and your customer will be there for you. If you are an existing business, you need to emphasize about customer retention strategies, or you need to emphasize about market penetration as well. A Small Business Development Center, we offer a market research for free to analyze what kind of market opportunities you might have in the District of Columbia and in the United States as well, block by block, where you can see competitors, credit score, how many employees, everything related with competitors, and all the demographic information that you need to have in your marketing plan. Also, we offer sbcglobal.com is a website where you can post and promote products and services in foreign markets such as Colombia, Salvador, Mexico, and the entire United States.